Tread the path of honor by resigning from office, Atiku tells Tinubu. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Atiku Abubakar, has made fresh revelations about President Tinubu's Diploma and National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) certificate. Atiku, who also alleged that some of the presidential aides had commenced a campaign of propaganda to further confuse Nigerians about the forgery allegation against the president, however, advised Tinubu to tread the path of honor by resigning from his office as president. Similarly, Atiku has alleged that the Tinubu administration had already perfected an elaborate and sinister plot to gag the media ahead of the release of the records containing his criminal investigations by the Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI). In a statement by his media advisor Paul Ibe, Atiku said, "Since Tuesday last week, when the deposition regarding President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's educational qualifications came to the fore in the United States, there have been several attempts to twist the facts of the matter, which deliberately aim to confuse the minds of the public concerning the matter." Some media aides to the president have come out openly to push back on the narrative, while some media houses have persistently slanted their story to justify a corrupted interpretation of the facts in the disposition. Sadly, the truth of the matter remains that Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu falsified a document he submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) and swore an affidavit under oath to back up his forgery. On page 26 of the deposition, which is publicly available, the registrar of Chicago State University, Caleb Westberg, under oath, was asked a simple question that CSU has determined that it does not have a true and correct copy of the diploma issued to Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 1979. Correct, to which the registrar responded, "That is correct." On page 26 of the deposition, which is publicly available, the registrar of the Chicago State University, Caleb Westberg, under oath, was asked a simple question that CSU has determined that it does not have a true and correct copy of the diploma issued to Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 1979. Correct, to which the registrar responded, "That is correct." Also, on page 27, a similar question was put to Mr. Westberg. So, CSU, after going through every diploma, was unable to find an authentic copy of any diploma that CSU issued to Tinubu in 1979. Is that correct? The CSU registrar in his response said, "We did not find any diploma issued by CSU in 1979 to Mr. Tinubu," he said. The former vice president added that, and coming straight to the specific issue of whether the CSU is aware of or in possession of the diploma that Tinubu submitted to INEC, to which Mr. Westberg simply said, "Correct, we are not aware of it." Indeed, anyone who has taken time to do a thorough reading of the deposition will come to the unambiguous conclusion that the footprint of Tinubu's audacity as far as the CSU document is concerned are filled with profound forgeries and abuse of administrative due process. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu supporters and spin doctors will want to force the narrative of at least Tinubu graduated from the CSU down our throat, even when the narrative has no foothold in logic. Accordingly, the former vice president said, the question remains that how does a candidate graduate from a university that you were never qualified for? According to information in the open, President Tinubu applied to the CSU with a pre-qualifying 1970 certificate from Government College, Lagos, whereas the school did not come into existence until 1974. Maybe this should make Tinubu the first man ever to have an anticipatory certificate from the school 4 clear years before the founding of the school. Another mystery is that in addition to the non-government college Lagos certificate, Tinubu presented a certificate from another school in the United States that belongs to a female candidate and a Cambridge HSC of 1970, the same year he purportedly graduated from a secondary school in Nigeria. Long before the CSU discovery of last week, Tinubu has had a history of forgery and perjury. In his Form CF-001, he filed ahead of his governorship election in 1999. Tinubu had claimed fraudulently that he attended St. John's Primary School, Aroyola, Government College, Ibadan, and the University of Chicago as different from Chicago State University. The late lawyer and human rights icon Gani Fayemi would have succeeded in boasting him, but the immunity he enjoyed as governor of Lagos State. President Tinubu must be a man of mystery. No wonder his supporters call him Idan, a distorter. The PDP presidential candidate further stated it was his contention that at the heart of the forgery scandal against President Tinubu was the question of integrity and morality. He said, if the president would not do what is honorable by resigning from office and saving the country an imminent embarrassment, at least his supporters should desist from telling shameful lies to confuse the public. Atiku said while supporters of the president were quick to reference his transcript from the Chicago State University as evidence of his studentship in the school, the former vice president said, "We are alarmed how his NYSC certificate bears Bola Adekule Tinubu, even when the CSU said under oath that the middle name of A was never interpreted in any document in his file." Atiku, however, maintained that every Nigerian who has undergone the NYSC program understands that the names on the NYSC are never a creation of the candidate, but the official name that the student was officially known as from their tertiary institutions. Tinubu was allegedly never known as Adekule at CSU, thus the only way to understand how Adekule was smuggled on his NYSC discharge certificate can only be explained as a forgery. Yet, his media aides will come to the open to make a shameful alternative fact. It is even more shameful that just when this whole scandal continues to unfold, media handlers of President Tinubu have from nowhere smuggled the middle name of Adekule into his Wikipedia account. The word Adekule in Yoruba is a house filled with royalty, but in this instance, We dare say it is a house filled with forgeries. It is therefore becoming very obvious that there is no end point to how President Tinubu and his spin doctors will continue to use one forgery to cover the other, Atiku stated. So therefore, I am asking Tinubu to respect himself, respect the office, and resign from presidency with honor, because he is not qualified to become the president of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar concluded.